of goods coming in. I've been plenty of
times. There was no deficit?
No, there are
no goods were kept out.
There are plenty. How many? Have you been to the crossing points?
No.
When were you last there at all?
I've never been.
You've never been?
Well, am I not allowed to talk about it now?
Seen this video of Douglas Murray on the Joe Rogan podcast, right? And it's being presented as, him owning the libs, like Joe Rogan's a liberal. Anyway, right, so before I get really into this, I just want to point out that just because someone talks in a posh English accent, in a very confident manner, it does not mean that one is more knowledgeable on the subject than you. Don't be fooled by that kind of arrogance. But if you find yourself in this kind of debate, first and foremost, you just got to point out, it's anecdotal. Like, just because you go and see something for a little while, that doesn't mean you actually know an in-depth amount on that subject, right? You went to the Rafa crossing, right, and see some goods coming over. Does that mean that that's the same every day? Does that mean that there aren't loads getting stopped? Does that mean that Israel aren't limiting what comes in? Like, it's it's just an absurd argument. The other part of the argument is obviously you're not allowed to go to Gaza. You can't get in. You're not allowed in. If I go, right, I'm going to go to Gaza now, they won't let me in. Did you see what happened when they tried to go over on the boats and they got stopped, right? That's the reality of it. You can't go into Gaza. So talking about, you've been talking about Gaza for 2 years and you haven't even been there. Well, you're not allowed. Unless they want you in there. Yeah, Douglas Murray goes into Gaza because he gets inserted with the IDF to be shown what the IDF want to show him. It's absolute nonsense from an absolute tool that is only there to make money from the ignorant. Imagine it. Imagine not being able to talk about anything. Like, if you weren't allowed to talk about these things unless you'd seen it with your own eyes. Well, you can't talk about migrant hotels. You haven't been in a migrant hotel, have you? How can you possibly talk about migrant hotels unless you've been in there, right? Most of these people, they haven't even met a migrant. They haven't met an asylum seeker. These people who haven't met asylum seekers, you're not allowed to talk about the asylum system unless you've been to the Home Office and looked at how it works. Like, do one, right? I almost wish he was right, because then we wouldn't have all of these tools standing outside of asylum hotels. We wouldn't have all these tools online talking about how everything that's wrong with the whole universe is caused by poor people coming over here in boats.